The alien woman froze the moment I stepped through the doorway, her skin flushing a terrified shade of violet as she whispered, "Mother, the human is here," like she just announced the end of the world. I stopped dead, one boot still hovering over the threshold, suddenly very aware that I was standing inside the most dangerous house in 3 star systems. The place didn't look dangerous. That was the problem. Soft bioluminescent walls pulsed with warm light. The air smelled faintly of rain and alien flowers. No guards. No visible weapons. Just a modest home perched on the edge of the crystal cliffs of Valaris Prime, the capital world of the Thalrin Combine. I had survived orbital bombardments, void boarding actions, and things in deep space that still visited my nightmares. But this felt wrong in a way I couldn't explain. Behind the panicking woman stood someone taller. Older. Her presence hit me like gravity. The mother turned slowly, and when her eyes met mine, the room seemed to dim in respect. She was Thalrin, one of the galaxy's oldest races. Her silver-black skin was traced with faint golden lines, marks of lineage, power, and authority. I recognized them instantly from classified briefings I was never supposed to see. She wasn't just any alien woman. She was Matriarch HFY, and I was standing in her house. But that was only the beginning. My name is Elias Ward, former human search and rescue officer attached to the Joint Frontier Coalition. Former because I was declared dead 6 months ago during the Caro's collapse. A failed mining moon. Structural failure. Thousands trapped underground. Including a Thalrin child. Her child. Back then, I hadn't known who she was. I just heard a voice crying through the rubble. Too calm for a kid, too steady for someone dying. I dug for 12 hours straight, hands bleeding, lungs burning, ignoring evacuation orders until I reached her. She had looked at me with glowing eyes and said, "You are very loud for a ghost." I carried her out as the moon broke apart behind us. Then everything went black. Now, apparently, I was a guest. Or a threat. Or something worse. Elias Ward, the matriarch said, her voice deep and impossibly controlled. "You are earlier than predicted." Her daughter, Lyra, stood rigid beside her, eyes wide, hands clenched like she expected me to explode. I started brilliantly. "Your daughter invited me." Lyra made a small, panicked sound. "She did," the matriarch said. "Against every protocol. Against my direct wishes." That's when I realized something was very, very wrong. They didn't fear humans normally. The Thalrin ruled half the Combine. They negotiated wars like trade deals. Fear wasn't part of their emotional spectrum. Yet Lyra was shaking. And her mother was watching me like a variable she couldn't solve. "Sit," HFY said. "I Saturday." The silence stretched, heavy and deliberate. I felt like I was on trial for something I didn't understand yet. "You saved my daughter," the matriarch finally said. "You disobeyed evacuation law. You ignored survival probability. You chose one life over thousands." "I chose the one I could reach," I replied. "Humans do that." Her golden markings pulsed faintly. "That answer troubles me," she said. Lyra looked at me then, really looked, and something like relief crossed her face. "Mother, he's not dangerous." HFY turned to her sharply. "That is not for you to decide." The temperature in the room dropped. Here it came. Accusation. Punishment. Maybe execution disguised as gratitude. Instead, the matriarch did something unexpected. She bowed her head. Not deeply, not ceremonially, but enough. My daughter has not slept without light since the collapse, she said quietly. Tonight, she did. Lyra's eyes widened. That debt is inconvenient. I frowned. Inconvenient. You disrupted fate, HFY continued. The Thalrin do not believe in chance. That moon's collapse was necessary. It would have unified the Combine. My jaw tightened. By killing a child? By sacrificing one, she corrected. You denied us that certainty. The words hit harder than any weapon. So why invite me here? I asked. The matriarch's gaze sharpened. Because since you saved her, Lyra has changed. Lyra stepped forward, voice trembling but determined. Mother, I don't want to be what you want me to be anymore. That was the turning point. The moment the story veered off every path I expected. HFY's control cracked, just for an instant. You have been listening to him, she said. I have been watching him, Lyra replied. Humans grieve. Humans hope. Humans choose. She looked at me. He chose me. The silence that followed was deafening. You were not supposed to survive, the matriarch said to me slowly. Your medical records ended. Your species declared you lost. I get that a lot, I said. HFY rose to her full height, towering over both of us. If you remain, Elias Ward, the Combine will notice. Enemies will test you. Allies will resent you. My daughter's future will fracture. I stood as well, heart pounding. Then send me away. Lyra gasped. Elias. I didn't save you to own your life, I said gently. You don't owe me anything. That was when HFY finally understood. Her eyes softened, just a fraction. You humans are dangerous, she said. Not because of your weapons, but because you infect others with choice. She turned to her daughter. If you keep him, you will never rule as I did. Lyra straightened. Then I will rule differently. Another silence. This one, final. HFY exhaled slowly. So be it. She looked at me one last time. You may stay. Not as a symbol. Not as a debt. Her gaze hardened with something like respect. But as the variable that changed my daughter. Later that night, as the alien city glowed beneath unfamiliar stars, Lyra sat beside me on the balcony. I panicked because I thought you'd leave, she admitted. I smiled faintly. I'm still bad at dying. She laughed, a sound that didn't exist in Thalrin culture until that moment. And far above us, unseen by most, the galaxy quietly adjusted course, all because one human walked into the wrong house and refused to walk away.